Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Really?
Disastrous for a president
To even say
to be
he's
unaware of the chief
It's
justice.
a ploy. It could be a strategy.
That strategy was very
Backfired.
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news, and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, the news.
So, unless we clamor about certain things, the only option we have is to put up with it. So, I'm talking about noise for God. There are laws against visual and acoustic nuisance and against the wrong placement of unauthorized types of buildings in certain areas. But here in Nigeria, many probably think there aren't any or feel they should not be obeyed. Or what else explains the noise we are subjected to daily? Or the factories, churches, and whatnot that are located slap bang where they should not be. Back in the 1980s, when we would drive about in the UK, my friend's mother warned him when he was given a car to drive. Please do not use your horn as we do in Lagos. Very fair warning, because here in Lagos, motorcycle riders and car drivers compete to win the title of Noise Creator of the Times. And we're not averse to the odd noisy street party either. Not very odd though. But let's focus on places of worship. One would expect that these supposed bastions of moral uprightness, of consideration for man and woman, would obey the laws. Not so. Why should there be a loud call from a mosque? Or overly loud singing and chanting from churches? These building types ought to be soundproof, containing whatever is being discussed or chanted within their four walls. It is bad enough that the churches especially are now to be found on just about any residential street. Is this the thinking, any way to do with worshiping God? Is it okay? Hurting other people's feelings, causing great disturbance, and sometimes causing delay to those at work, all in the supposed name of God? I think it is time that state governors crack down on noise pollution and blatant disregard for urban planning laws.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chuka.
Thank you very much.
You made me laugh, Chuka. I'll come there in a minute. Wait.
I lived in an estate prior to the one I currently live in, and there were like 8, I think maybe even 12 churches. I think,
Gosh.
they're on practically
That's an abuse.
every street. And I go to church, no problem. But I went, came back, and then I wanted to have my Sunday rest.
Of course.
But I can't have it.
Got to have an afternoon nap in Nigeria.
This noise is ongoing. And when people start doing church, they can actually start doing church from Thursday evening.
Yeah.
So it means you're going to be disrupted. So I never got any rest in that estate. But I accepted because it wasn't necessarily a highbrow estate. So I just thought, these are the things that need to come with that.
Yes.
And then I moved to a highbrow estate, thinking I could have some peace and quiet, but not at all. Now we have a hotel in the estate, and not only do they have live band and everything, then on Thursdays it quickly changes because they've been taken over by a mega church, and so from that moment on it is all manner of singing, this, that, and everything. I am not against worshiping God. I'm not against singing to God. I'm not against any of that. But there needs to be some consideration. I mean, not everybody buys into that. And we cannot live under that stress of noise, coupled with the parties. Nigeria, you're absolutely right. I understood that Fashola had put in a noise.
No, not just Fashola. There is actually a bylaw, a Lagos State bylaw against
nobody seems
noise
to
making.
care about that. It's as if everybody's just like, whatever.
They stopped enforcing it. They stopped enforcing it.
Well, I think it's time they brought it back because it's getting out of hand.
What I'm looking at is a cultural thing. I know you're targeting churches, and yes, they have made themselves the elephant in the room, kind of, because they're so prominent. But I think what you're dealing with is cultural. It's nothing to do with religious behavior. Because, I was recently somewhere in a public place that several people inhabit. And this lady came with her friend and she thought it was perfectly normal to start playing her music loud and dancing. And I thought she didn't bother to ask the rest of us who were there before she got there. Nigerians are like that, a bit inconsiderate. But so I want to say, look at the laws, because the building, urban planning, why is it that they have turned a blind eye to where they let people build? I know where I lived in Enugu. They start their night vigil. They start praying.
Thursday, right?
But my problem was very loud on a Friday night till 3 in the morning. I can't sleep. And I thought I was going to get up one night, even at 1, drive there and, threaten them that I'm going to call, I'm a Christian. I love it. But what are you doing? You're keeping everybody. It's not fair. But as I was asking you before the program, we must find out. So make this advocacy pointed. Who do we report it to? Because I'm all about...
It's the Ministry of the Environment.
You can actually report it, and they will
come.
They will come.
Because they have to stop. You can't terrorize people like that. What kind of nonsense?
You need a governor that cares enough to want to ensure. Look, Fashola cared, and that was, or BRF, he cared, and that was the difference. And we hope that the new one, Sanwo-Olu, will also care.
No, the scripture says, make a joyful noise to the Lord.
Yeah, but they take that
but at the same time...
You have to show consideration for others. love your neighbor as yourself.
The second law, just took it from my mouth, says, love your neighbor as yourself. And Romans 15, if I'm permitted to say that. Romans 15 says, do that which pleases. Do that which pleases your neighbor.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So you need to, which means consideration. You understand? But you see, beyond that, in other climes, I know some few countries, you build your house with your money. Before you park into that house and call everybody to come and eat amala, they will come and check, inspect everything. House, worship centers.
Yes.
If it is not soundproof, you cannot go there. You can't start.
You won't be able to start
your
business.
So I feel that our advocacy should go towards that direction.
But that's what Papi was saying.
That's what he said.
That before you do anything, people should, and you see, we should start responding rather than reacting. Once you see that thing under construction, mobilize yourself, go to the right quarters and report that, you know what, this hotel is coming here and we know it is wrong.
So, here's what I would say about that. And what you've got to bear in mind is religion is money in this country. Yeah. Okay. And even more so, not only is it money, it also works hand in hand or is twinned with politics, all right, and it's twinned with power. Okay, right. So you and I can complain, and I'm not saying we shouldn't. I mean, we all of us here, that's why we do this, because we do complain. But what you must bear in mind is that if the hotel near Uche's house, don't be surprised that people had actually written. Like, people do write against these things. I was about to say that people do write. They respond. Yes.
Everybody has complained.
Yes. But the money was too much.
The money was too much because religion buys.
But
also
the money complains better.
Yes.
The money complains better.
Yes, exactly. The money speaks louder.
Okay.
And
so we've been told that we have to wait for their lease
to run out. Can you believe it?
Do you know how many TV stations, you're talking about religion here, do you know how many TV stations actually, they sell the whole of airtime to religion because they pay big money that you and I can't pay. And that's how they pay their salary. Religion is money.
And deny all that bigger content.
Power speaks, so yes, rejoice in the name of Jesus when you have money.
Yeah, I think that's, it's sad really.
The fact that we listen to money in the first place is sad.
So, raising an objection is necessary from time to time, even if it means stepping on the toes of others. Ekene objects to a certain kind of noisy behavior after the break.